Hey, how are you? It's Matt Heisler of Vanderbilt Properties. And in this video, we're going to go through the various kinds of house styles, which has been on my blog for a long time, but has remained a popular page for web browsers. So I figured I'd turn it into a video. And with that, we're going to get started here and we're going to jump into the most popular house style that there is out there. And it's your basic colonial. Now, this basic colonial has a gable roof, and you can see that the roofline edge stops at the second floor windows. So this is pretty typical. This is really what makes a colonial a colonial. This is the same kind of colonial. You can see the roof line is at the top of the secondary windows. This roof is more interesting because it has dormers, and at the end of the day, it does have multiple wings, extra boxes on the other side, and those extra boxes is what makes it a double wing colonial. Now, this is a modern day colonial, and this colonial has the garage on this side here, and above it, it has the master bedroom. And so the second floor in these colonials is a lot bigger than the first floor because the garage eats into the first floor. So I call this a top heavy colonial. If you contrast that with this style of house, well, this is your classic Cape. Originally called a Cape Cod and built all over Cape Cod, you can see that the roof line here is at the top of the first floor windows and that the roof eats into the second floor living space. And ultimately, that's what makes it a Cape. So the original capes that were built in the 1940s were smaller. And if you thought that the last one didn't look much like a cape, well, this one probably works a little bit better for you. This one has the front dormers, which are a hallmark of the style. But you don't need the dormers for it to be a cape. It's really just about that roof line, which again stops here at the top of the first floor. Now, today, when they build a cape, they actually still bring the roof line down, but you can see it's quite a bit higher over the windows. And then they bring the roof line up quite a bit higher. And there's a lot more room up there. So, really, a modern day cape like this is going to work just like a colonial, because upstairs, you're barely even going to notice the roof line because there's so much extra space up there. Now, switching styles again, here is everyone's basic starter house. It's your ranch. You can see here from the roof line, there's really no space up there to work with at all. This is for one level living, and it still works for lots and lots of demographics. But ultimately, this is your standard ranch. It can have one bedroom, two bedrooms, three bedrooms, and of course, they can be built out and expanded over time, and many of them are. This is also a ranch, even though it sort of looks like it has two floors. But you can see here that really the lower level here is just basement with a garage. So this is a very small ranch, probably about 900 square feet with a one-car garage under. But this is a good segue to our next style, which is the split level home. Split level home is because the door here is halfway between the second floor and the first floor. This fundamentally is the hallmark of the split level home. And you really can't have a split level home unless you have the door sort of midway between the two floors here. This, again, this is another split level home. The only difference with this one, if you think this one looks a little different, is that the ground comes all the way up to the door, but you can see here that the door is still at between the second and the first floor, as is required for this kind of split. But splits lead us into more exotic kinds of houses, including contemporaries. Classic contemporaries are marked by irregular roof lines. They usually jump around quite a bit. There are almost always skylights or some other kind of thing cut into the roof in order to allow extra light. These houses typically have vaulted ceilings and tons of light, and they are also characterized by the vertical windows, which I have highlighted here. Here's another contemporary. You can see again the dramatic angles and planes for the roof line, which just seem to jut in all sorts of different directions. Here, there is a skylight there, but there are also windows cut into the side of the house, and you can see the vaulted ceiling behind there, which is going to just completely fill that house with light whenever the sun is out. Moving on from contemporaries, we could then talk about antiques, but honestly, there are so many different sub-styles of antiques that I would actually need to do it in another video. And the good news is that video is coming up. So if you want to learn more about typical house styles for antiques, make sure you look out for that other video. Otherwise, you're all up to speed with modern day typical house styles.